Greetings, our Frederick Riddle here with another Christian News and Views, episode 65, and today we are looking at the Friday recaps. We're going to be looking back at this past week, and I'm going to do things a little different. I've done this before. I'm going to do it again. We're going to combine Monday through Wednesday because it's really all one continuous story. It's all about President Trump from the moment he was sworn in throughout Wednesday. And I may add some stuff in that's happened since then as well. So I want to first get to the point here that I pointed out early on that the first order of business, in my opinion, was to undo former President Biden's policies, actions, and executive orders. This was taken care of on day one. In addition, he designated Ansar Allah, aka the Houthis, as a foreign terrorist organization. He did this on Wednesday. Moreover, on these first 3 days in office, he signed a number of executive orders fulfilling campaign promises, including EOs, or executive orders, on immigration, ending diversity, equity, and inclusion, which the initials are DEI, programs. Now, I substitute there another word. Instead of DEI and a big long title, diversity, equity, and inclusion, why not just go with woke? Because it's basically the same idea. But in any case, he ended them. Also, he signed orders relating to the economy and energy production. He also withdrew the United States from the Paris Agreement. He froze hiring. He rescinded 78 Biden executive orders. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier, that get rid of them early on, and that's what he did. And he did that within the first 3 days. Meanwhile, Trump officials, acting on President Trump's orders, immediately shut down a Biden administration's Customs and Border Protection app that allowed illegal migrants to apply to the government for the purpose of legally entering the U.S. by seeking asylum. Basically, this is a system to bypass the laws of the land so the illegal immigrants can come in and appear and actually be legal simply by bypassing everything and seeking asylum, not going through the normal route. And that was put down, shut down. Now, on top of all that, Trump does what most president-elects do, or new presidents is probably a better way of saying that. What he did, he's nominated people for the various offices, but he has to have somebody who runs the government while they're going through the process of being approved by the Senate. So he has placed in control or in position different men and women as acting. And so I'm going to go through these in alphabetical order by title. So the first one is Acting Attorney General. And that is, he has placed James McHenry in that position. As acting CIA director, he's put in Tom Sylvester. As acting chairman of the Federal Trade Commission, he's put in place Mark Yoida. He's also put in as chairman of the Federal Trade Commission Andrew Ferguson. So these two must be like co-chairmen, and there may be others on there, but these are ones in which he would have control over as far as nominating and so forth. So I haven't had time to really check that one out thoroughly, but he did make two different people for that. Then he's also appointed acting Secretary of the Army Mark Averill. He's also appointed acting Secretary of Defense Robert Salesses, acting Secretary of Health and Human Services Dorothy Fink, and acting Secretary of Homeland Security Benjamin Huffman. and he's been doing a lot of things. I mean, he's got a slew of executive orders. He did over 200 some in his first term. I think it was 236 or something like that. Uh, I was looking. I was looking up who did the most executive orders, and I don't know how Trump's going to come in here, but President Biden did over 8,000 executive orders. Wow, that's a lot. But and we have Trump has already done 78 of them, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more that are going to bite the dust, as the saying goes. And so he's been a very active president, and he's hitting the ground running, which is one of the things I was looking for. Um, I haven't detected anything in here yet about Ukraine. I've been looking over stuff, and it may be something in there that I just haven't seen yet. But I still think that he's going to make a surprise that Putin's not going to like. It's going to be one of those offers you can't refuse, and it's going to be something that's going to. I think the Ukraine situation is going to go. What I think is going to happen is that Trump wants to bring the war to an end. We all do. But he also wants. I believe that he also wants Ukraine to be the. If there's going to be a winner, it's got to be Ukraine, not Russia. And so I think that he's going to do away with the slow walk, what I call the slow walk. President Biden would push and ask for money authorization, and they would get the authorization to send. They didn't send whole cold hard cash; they sent weapons over to Ukraine. And when the Ukrainians got them, they were very effective. They knew how to use them. They sometimes they adapted them to different situations, maybe even tinkered with them a little bit. Very creative. But the problem wasn't whether they could use them or not. The problem was when they would get there. They would get there. What most people would say too late. Not too late as far as defeat is concerned, because once they got them, they were able to turn the cards on the enemy and start pushing them back. But it cost lives, a lot of lives, Ukrainian lives, because President Biden's administration slow walked them. Now they'll say, well, no, we had to take them out of mothballs, which is true. They had to maybe inspect them, which is probably true. And then they shipped them, and and most of it was shipped by ship. They could have put some of that on planes and transported them over. So don't know all the details there, but the impression that I've got over time was that they were getting there way, way too slow. You're not talking days or weeks, we're talking months before they would arrive. Ukrainians needed them 2 months ago, and then they finally get them. And when they do get them, like I said, they turn the battle around and are able to push the Russians back. In fact, they were able to go in and invade Russia and take over some land. So now they have something to negotiate with. And so I think that Trump's going to get them to the negotiating table, and in the end, Russia's going to end up to being the loser, not the winner. Now, there's a lot of people out there who would disagree with me on that, but I'm entitled to my opinion, as you are to yours. But I believe that that's what's going to happen. We'll just see how things work out. I have a lot of confidence in Trump on this, and he wants us to get out of that war. He wants to bring that war to a close. But I think he also wants to bring it to a close in an honorable fashion, which is, I can't always say that for other people. So that has been the coverage so far this week. On Thursday, I normally have a deal where I look at the Bible, the King James Bible in particular. We have been looking recently at Jesus Christ and claims that people have made about him. Now, the title for Thursday's message was Jesus Christ, Lord, Liar, or Lunatic. Well, I decided to prove that he existed not only existed, but that his claim that he did claim to be God, the Son of God. And I used a book that I've already introduced to you before. I used this book right here, Many Infallible Proofs, and that is by Dr. Phil Stringer. It's an excellent book, a booklet really, and I got it right from him when he came to the church where I was at, and I bought it from him. So I don't know if it's still around, but if it is, I would encourage you. You can go to um, his, well, it's printed by Faith Baptist Church Publications in Fort Pierce, Florida, so you can check there. He could be reached, or at the time of printing anyhow, he could be reached at P.O. Box 1089, Haines City, Florida 33845. And so it's an excellent book. And he introduced the concept here that actually was brought first entered in by C.S. Lewis. The question was asked, is this a reasonable way to deal with Christ? Could a man who said the things about himself that Christ did be a good man without being God in the flesh? And C.S. Lewis shatters this claim with his famous statement that is often called the Great Trilemma, or Trilemma. Here's what he said. A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic, on a level with the man who says he is a poached egg, or else he would be the devil of hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. You can shut him up for a fool, you can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come with any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He has not left that open to us. He did not intend to. And in other words, Jesus made it very obvious. He was either God, the Son of God, or he was a liar. And if he's a liar, he cannot possibly be a good moral person. Or if he's not a liar, then he's a madman, and that's obviously not a good moral person. So you choose. Is he God, a madman, or, well, actually the way the title went, is he the Lord, a liar, or a lunatic? And I went into this and some degree on Thursday. And so what I want to do here is just follow up on that a little bit. I did prove it. I used this booklet, and I was able to prove that Jesus claimed to be God. In fact, the very name of God is Jehovah. Oh, Jehovah, when you translate it, comes out I am. Actually, I am that I am. When Moses asked God at the burning bush, what do I tell people your name is? God says, tell them, I am that I am. And that's Jehovah. And the Jewish people took that name so seriously that they wouldn't even spell it all out. They would use abbreviations. And that way, they were very respectful of how they even used the name. We could learn something from that. But they regarded it at a very high level. Now, that was back in Moses' day. By the time Jesus came along, they weren't so, the leaders were not so careful about it. But he over and over said that I am. Before Abraham was, I am. And so forth. And the Jewish priests that were around there, they knew and understood what he was saying, and that is why they wanted to stone him. They didn't stone him because he claimed something else. He claimed to be God, and that to them was blasphemy, and they were prepared to stone him to death. Of course, they couldn't. He just walked right on through them and left the scene. So that is the week in recap. Now, if you like this channel and you like what I bring every week, I hope that you will take this opportunity to, right down below here, that you will subscribe to my this podcast. and to my channel. And when you do that, you get actually two podcasts. You're getting Christian News and Views, the one you're watching, and you get Becoming a Published Author is Fun, which is for anybody who wants to be a published author. If you're a Christian and you want to be a published author, then Becoming a Published Author is Fun is a great podcast. It's free. I give out advice to you on how to be a published author. If you want to go beyond that, I have a course called Basic Authors Training, which is what most of the information comes from. It's either coming from that course or it's on its way to that course, and some of it gets deposited in that podcast. You will also be encouraging me, so I encourage you to subscribe. And I will do all in my power to create episodes that will inform, encourage, and inspire you. So that is it for today. I want to wish you a great weekend, and you have a great day, and I'm going to see you in the next episode.